My friend, let me tell you something few people will say out there. Life has a kind of crooked way of dealing the cards, you know? Some people are born with everything ready, other people need to build from scratch. And look, I'm not going to lie to you saying this is fair, because it isn't. Some of us lost the birth lottery, and it's okay to acknowledge that. The question is what we do after understanding this reality. Because one thing I learned by observing people who really transformed their lives is that they didn't wait for the world to become fair. They took action. And maybe you'll need to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard as those who were born with advantages. Sounds cruel, I know. But there's something powerful in all of this that few people notice. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. It has to do with a trap that almost everyone falls into, including me many times. A trap that promises to get you to success faster, but actually leaves you even further from where you want to go. Think with me. We live in an era where everything needs to be fast, right? Responding to messages in seconds, learning skills in accelerated courses, building a business in months. And in the middle of all this, we start measuring our lives by speed. How many tasks can we cross off the list today? How many projects did we finish this week? Seems like we're advancing, conquering, evolving. But there's a problem with this. When you become obsessed with doing things faster, you stop asking if you're doing the right things. It's like running on a treadmill, you know? You're moving like crazy, sweating, working hard. But when you turn off that machine, you're still in exactly the same place. The illusion of efficiency is this. It makes you feel productive while keeping you too busy to notice you're running in circles. And look, I understand where this obsession comes from. We live in a world that glorifies productivity, that celebrates those who sleep less, who work more, who deliver results faster. Social media is full of people showing their optimized routines, their productivity hacks, their perfect organizational systems. And we look at that and think, man, I need to be like that too. I need to wake up at 5 in the morning, exercise, meditate, work 12 hours, read before bed, and still have energy to post about how balanced my life is. But nobody tells you the other side of this story. Nobody talks about the emptiness that comes when you reach all these productivity milestones and still feel lost. Because efficiency without purpose is like having a super powerful car but not knowing where to drive. You can go very fast, but that doesn't mean you're going somewhere that really matters. Let me give you a very practical example. Imagine you decide to learn a new skill, I don't know, playing guitar. You can do this in 2 ways. The first is the efficient way, consuming several YouTube videos at double speed, skipping the parts that seem slow, focusing only on techniques that promise quick results. In a few weeks, you can play some basic songs. Mission accomplished, right? Now imagine the second way. You pick up the guitar, feel its weight, understand each string, let your fingers hurt a little while you learn. You play the same note several times just to feel how it resonates differently depending on how you play it. You make mistakes, adjust, make mistakes again. On this journey, you don't just learn to play, you develop a relationship with music. And when you finally manage to play that song you love, there's something different there. There's presence, there's soul, there's you in it. Which of these 2 ways is better? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you just want to say you know how to play guitar, the first one works. But if you really want to live the experience of becoming a musician, of feeling that internal transformation that comes when you master something with depth, then you need the second one. And this is exactly where the big mistake lies that most people make when trying to build wealth, develop skills, or transform their lives. We want the final result, but we don't want to go through the process. We want the reward, but we skip the journey. And then when we get there, when we reach that goal we set, we look around and think, is this it? Where's that feeling of accomplishment I expected to feel? Now think about something. Have you ever noticed how the wisest people you know never seem to be in a hurry? They speak slowly, think before responding, take pauses. And when you talk to someone like that, it seems like every word has weight, you know? It has real meaning. These people understood something fundamental about life, that speed and wisdom rarely go together. Because wisdom comes from reflecting on experiences, from digesting what happened, from connecting dots that only appear when you take a step back and observe the complete picture. And you can't do this if you're always running to the next thing. It's like trying to appreciate a painting while running through a museum. Technically, you saw the work, But did you really see it? And look, the irony of all this is that we develop incredible technologies to save time, but then we use that saved time to do even more things. Dishwasher? Great, now I can answer emails while it washes. Food delivery? Perfect, so I don't waste time cooking and can work another half hour. We never really get time back. We just get more and more buried in tasks, more and more disconnected from the present, further and further from a life that's really worth living. And then comes that question nobody wants to ask, but everyone should. If you could do fewer things, but do each one with more attention, with more care, with more presence, would your life be better or worse? I bet you already know the answer. The truth is that time is the only resource you'll never be able to buy back. You can earn more money, you can get new opportunities, you can even rebuild relationships. But that moment that passed is gone forever. And when we live at maximum speed all the time, we let these moments pass without really living them. It's like watching a movie while checking your phone. Technically, you watched the whole movie, but if someone asks you about the story, you won't remember the details, because you weren't really present. And life, my friend, is made of details. That 5-minute conversation with a friend that you really listened to. That coffee you had without doing anything else at the same time. That walk where you noticed the trees, the birds, the sky. These are the moments that get engraved in memory, that build a truly rich life. Now let me tell you something about people who build wealth sustainably. They don't do it by accelerating everything. They do it by being strategic about where to put their energy. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world, spends most of his time reading and thinking. He's not in one meeting after another. He's not checking emails every 5 minutes. He dedicates time to deeply understand things before acting. And when he acts with conviction. Because he knows that good decisions come from deep thinking, not from quick reactions. You can apply this to your life too. Before jumping to the next course, to the next project, to the next business, stop for a bit. Think if that really makes sense for what you want to build. Because doing 100 mediocre things doesn't take you as far as doing 3 exceptional things. And there's something else. When you slow down, you start noticing opportunities that were going unnoticed before. It's like when you're driving too fast on a road and don't see that detour that could take you to an incredible place. But when you decrease your speed, you start noticing the possibilities. That casual conversation that could become a business partnership. That book you read calmly that completely changes your perspective. That skill you develop slowly, but that becomes your unique differential in the market. These things don't appear when you're running. They appear when you give space for them to emerge. And that's why people who seem to always be running after things often stay in the same place, while others who seem calmer are truly progressing. You know what's interesting? We learn from early on that success is about doing more. More sales, more clients, more projects, more money. And look, I'm not going to say these things don't matter. Of course they matter. But there's a point where doing more starts working against you. Because the more you do, the shallower you get in each thing. It's that story of the guy who tries to dig 10 1-meter wells instead of digging one 10-meter well. He's busy, he's working hard, but he'll never find water. Meanwhile, the person who focuses on just one well, who goes deep, who has patience, that person finds the water and still has energy to help others find it too. Which one do you want to be? The one who looks busy or the one who actually produces results? Think about the relationships you have. How many of them are truly deep? How many people can you call at 3 in the morning knowing they'll answer? I bet there aren't many. And you know why? Because deep relationships require time. They require presence. They require you to be there for real, not physically present with your mind somewhere else. But we live in a time where we have 500 friends on Facebook and nobody to talk to when we really need it. Because we're so busy maintaining all these superficial connections that we forget to invest in the ones that really matter. And then when a difficult moment comes, when you really need support, you realize you built a huge social network, but didn't build a real support network. Let me provoke you a little. What if the best thing you could do for your life right now was to do fewer things? What if instead of adding one more goal, one more skill, one more commitment to your schedule, you simply cut half of what you're doing and dedicated yourself with depth to what really matters? Sounds scary, right? Because we've been conditioned to believe that rest is laziness, that free time is wasted time. But think about humanity's greatest advances. They didn't come from people who were busy doing 1,000 things at the same time. They came from people who had mental space to think deeply. Einstein developed the theory of relativity while working at a patent office, having time to reflect. Newton formulated the law of gravity during a forced pause because of the plague. These discoveries didn't happen despite free time. They happened because of it. And here's a truth that might hurt a little. Most things you do day to day probably didn't need to be done. That email you answered in 5 minutes could have waited until tomorrow. That 1-hour meeting could have been a 3-line email. That course you signed up for because it was on sale, you weren't even sure you wanted to learn that for real. We fill our lives with false urgencies because it's more comfortable to be busy than to face important questions. Because when you stop, when you really stay in silence with yourself, you have to deal with difficult questions. Am I doing what I really want to do? Am I building the life I want to live? Am I being the person I want to be? And these questions, my friend, they scare us. That's why we prefer to stay busy. But come here, think about how different it would be if you woke up tomorrow and decided you're going to do only 3 important things in the day. Not 30, not 10, 3. And you're going to do these 3 things with all your attention, with all your care, with all your energy. At the end of the day, I bet you would have made more real progress in these 3 areas than you did in the whole month running after 20 things at the same time. Because quality always beats quantity in the long run. Always. Might it take longer to see results? Maybe. Will it require more patience? Definitely. But when the result comes, it's going to be solid. It's going to be something nobody can take from you. It's going to be real. Look at the people you truly admire, those who built something significant. They have one thing in common. They know how to say no. No to good opportunities, to focus on excellent ones. No to interesting projects, to dedicate themselves to transformative ones. No to superficial relationships, to invest in deep ones. They understand that every yes to something is a no to something else. And if you keep saying yes to everything, you're saying no to the things that really matter without even realizing it. Steve Jobs once said that innovation is saying no to 1,000 things to focus on the one that really matters. And he was right. Because your attention is limited, your energy is limited, your time is limited. So where you put these resources completely defines who you're going to become. And there's something about genuine progress that few people understand. It's rarely linear. You're not going to improve a little bit each day consistently. Sometimes you'll feel like you're walking in circles, that you're not getting anywhere. And that's exactly where most people give up. Because we've been taught to expect quick results, instant gratification. But the things that are really worthwhile, they work differently. It's like planting a tree. You water it, care for it, protect it, and for months it seems like nothing's happening, until suddenly it starts to grow. And when it grows fast. Because all that apparently idle time was it developing deep roots. And the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. The same thing applies to you. When you truly develop a skill, when you build deep knowledge, when you form genuine relationships, you're creating roots. And these roots will sustain you when the storm comes. Because storms always come, my friend. Economic crisis, market changes, personal problems. And in these times, those who built in a hurry, who focused only on appearance, these people fall. Because they have no foundation. They have no structure. But those who had the patience to build slowly, to do it right, to go deep, these people not only survive but come out stronger on the other side. And then comes that moment where everyone wants to know the secret of their success. And the secret is simple. They understood that slow and steady wins the race. Always has, always will. So here we are. You've watched this far, which means something in this message resonated with you. Maybe you already know you need to change something. Maybe you're already feeling that discomfort that comes before a transformation. And I want you to know that this discomfort is a good sign. It means you're growing. It means you're ready for the next level. The question now is, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to watch this video, agree with everything, and tomorrow go back to the same frantic pace as always? Or are you really going to stop to reflect on how you're living and make adjustments? Because look, knowledge without action is just entertainment. And I didn't make this video to entertain you. I made it to challenge you, to provoke you, to make you question whether the life you're living is really the life you want to live. So here's my final challenge. Take one aspect of your life where you're running, where you're doing without thinking, where you're on autopilot. Could be your work, your relationships, your health, your financial goals. Choose one. And for the next 7 days, I want you to radically slow down in that area. I'm not asking you to stop. I'm asking you to do it slowly, with attention, with presence. And then you write down what happens, the insights that emerge, the opportunities you notice, the emotions you feel, because I guarantee you're going to discover something important about yourself. And look, if this made sense to you, if you felt this message was for you, then there's much more here that can help you on this journey. I regularly create content about how to build wealth consciously, about how to develop a growth mindset, about how to navigate this complex world without losing your essence. So subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because these aren't just random pieces of information. It's a continuous conversation where each video connects with another, where we go deep into topics that most people only scratch the surface of. And you'll want to be part of this. And you know what? Go to the description. There are other videos that will expand your capacity for reflection on wealth building, on mindset, on how to truly prosper in a world that seems to be against you. Because the more you reflect, the more you question, the more you understand, the more equipped you become to make the necessary changes. And I want to see you make these changes. I want to see you prospering. I want to see you building something genuine and lasting. I believe in you. I truly believe. And look, I know everyone has their battles, their unique challenges. I know life didn't deal the cards fairly. But I also know that inside you there's an immense potential that hasn't been fully explored yet. Skills you don't even know you have. Strength you haven't needed to use yet. And the world needs your contribution. It needs you to reach your potential so you can help other people reach theirs too. So don't give up. Don't accelerate. Just continue with presence, with purpose, with patience. This way you'll build a life that's truly worth living.